Welcome to Women Entrepreneurs Radio. I'm your host, Deborah Bailey. And when I started this show in 2008, I was on a mission to promote women-owned businesses and help women succeed by providing resources and valuable tips from other women and men, small business owners. In each interview, my guests speak openly about their triumphs, the scary times, and tough decisions they had to make along the way. Women Entrepreneurs Radio is about showing women how to harness their natural strengths to achieve success on their own terms. Hi everyone, welcome to Women Entrepreneurs Radio. I'm your host, Deborah Bailey. I'm really glad that you could join me today. And if you're listening to this on Podomatic, don't forget you can also come to iTunes, look for Women Entrepreneurs Radio, and you can subscribe from there. And also you can find links on womenentrepreneursecrets.com so that if you have Android, for instance, you can have a way to subscribe to the podcast through there as well. So you don't necessarily just have to have an iPhone to listen in. Also, you can download the podcast episodes from Podomatic as well. So it's many other ways for you to listen to the show, and I hope that you will. So I'm going to introduce my guest for today, and really excited to have her on the show. And it's Genecia Alluora, and Genecia is a former Miss Singapore and recipient of Southeast Asia Women of Excellence 2010, the founder of Queen's 8 Business Group with 10 years of solid business experience in the fields of e-commerce, beauty, co-working spaces, and F&B. She is also the founder of Soul Rich Woman and a public speaker on the subjects of social media, entrepreneurship, brand building, and e-commerce. As a business mentor to 8,000 women in Soul Rich Woman, then Genecia empowers them in areas of health, wealth, and happiness with the mission, I Create My Life. She shares daily business and marketing advice to help aspiring business women attract more leads and customers, increase and double sales, and maximize profits for business growth. Soul Rich Woman also teaches women to leverage on the internet to earn money, to invest, and to create passive income structures so that they can win the money game, become financially free, and have more time to pursue their passions in life. So welcome, Genecia. I'm really glad to have you on the show.
Hey, Deborah. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, we were talking earlier, and, I'm aware of the time difference.
We are one day apart.
Oh.
Yours in the day, I'm in the night.
I know, it's great, I said, so we will have to just make sure we stick to the time, which maybe, because we were talking beforehand, to make sure that we're not talking into the next day.
Oh my God.
Midnight, we're going to be talking, so.
It'll be the next day.
I know, right? So true, but as we were talking before, the technology that enables us to do things like this is really what helps all of us women, entrepreneurs around the world to just really connect with each other and see that we all have common goals and common desires and purpose. So I think that's really fantastic. Technology has its challenges, but at least it has a lot of great points as well.
I totally agree with you with that. I think technology really has helped many women to open up their eyes to see that they can be the lady in the kitchen, the lady in the bedroom, the lady with the kids, and the lady in the workforce.
Yes. Exactly. You really can manage all the parts of your life. And, this technology really opens the door for people, and women in particular, to be able to manage all of these things in a way that, before would have seemed impossible. So I think that's really a wonderful point. But, we're going to get started and find out, your story. How did you know that you were meant for entrepreneurship? How did this begin?
Well, I kind of started working when I was 14 years old because I had to support myself through school. I had kind of an early head start because my family weren't financially sound. So I needed to step out of my comfort zone and kind of go teach yoga, aerobics, line dancing, and whatever. So that helped me to build my strength as a trainer, a coach profile. And because of that, let me give you an example. It's like going to school in the morning, like 5, 6 a.m. And then after that, I have to go for extracurricular activities. And then after that, going into teaching at night. And by the time I finish, it'll probably be 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. And by the time I reach home, it's probably about 11 before I even do my homework. So literally entrepreneurship was kind of like nurtured as I went through the hardship. And because during the time when I was a teenager, I made so much more money being a part-time payroll versus when I had my full-time job. So that was one of the motivation, but also I saw that I had a choice to make a difference in other people's life. And when I saw that opportunity life was hard, but I kind of take it into my stride and I want to make a difference. So that's how I moved into entrepreneurship, to want to own my own business. And I want to help women to not see that their life is sucky, but more like their life, it's there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Also because my personal belief that Deborah, if I don't mind, I call you Deborah.
Fine. That's fine.
Yes, fine. Yeah, because my personal belief is that each one of us has a valuable skill or talent to share with the world. I mean, even if we don't recognize the value in ourselves, other people can help us to get to know the aspects of ourselves. So if you have a supportive network, or if you know someone, that's why I set up Soul Rich Woman. I mean, that's why I went to entrepreneurship, because the purpose was to set up a network so that this network will be able to leverage each other and things get done faster. And then when you can see each other's goals, life, knowledge, and experiences, and you know that you will realize that success comes from acknowledging that you can't do everything alone.
Yes, that's so true. And that's another excellent point. And also an important point, I think, for women, because a lot of times women, I think, feel that they have to take on all the roles, like you were saying in the beginning, and have to carry all of that on their shoulders.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's true. It really isn't true. But I think a lot of times women will feel like, well, it's my responsibility to do this and this and this and this, and not always ask for help in the business part, because they may feel like it's kind of the same kind of world, maybe they're always responsible in the personal and the family and other things and of the job, and now in the business part, even if they're not sure what to do, they may feel like, well, I can't ask, or I have to try to do this on my own.
I totally agree with you, Deborah, because two common issues are often seen. We can place them under this category called personal boundaries. So many of my women don't know how to say no. So they are kind of like taken on this heroine kind of image, I think they watch too much Superman or Superwoman, Wonder Woman, they're like, okay, I'm this lady who's gonna be doing business, taking care of the kids, doing kitchen, doing dishes, I'm gonna do cooking, everything. So this personal boundaries part kind of went crazy. So what I mean by personal boundaries, perhaps let me set the context. So personal boundaries simply means learning how to say no to things that don't matter, that's not aligned with you at the moment in time, and how it can stack on. Now the key word here is stacking on to your experience, or stacking on to your goal, or stacking on to your life experience that matters to you. So having said that, when a lady doesn't say no, there are two usually very big categories that are often seen. One is in business, where the women is not able to focus fully on things that are productive. So they are doing all the things that are not productive, so they get busy by the activities. They don't get busy because of the outcome. Okay, so one thing I share a lot with my women is called the RPM, which is the results, purpose, and massive actions methodology. So when they're going through the boundary setting, when they're unable to say no, that's when they take them away from the time, take them away from the things that they're supposed to do, which matters to them. For example, they could have spent extra 30 minutes to an hour spending time with the children, playing with them, or bringing them to school. But because of not being able to set boundaries correctly, they strayed the other way. And with that, they lost the time with the kids. So what do? The women get stressed up. And what happens when the system gets stressed up? The woman gets crazy, right? We're kind of like pent up inside us. We don't care for ourselves. We don't do a lot of self-care. Yeah. And then the second part of the personal boundary setting is the home boundary setting, which is, I have women coming to me and say, Genecia, my husband expect me to take care of them. My children expect me to take care of them. They expect me to take care of the household. Sometimes I turn the question around and I ask them, is it you who expect yourself to take care of the kitchen, the cleaning, the washing, the kids, playing, and taking care of your husband? So it's kind of like a personal boundary thing where women kind of get fuzzy in terms of their roles and their work and stuff. So I teach a lot in personal boundary setting, not only in personal life, but also in business. I feel that this piece is one of the major pieces for women to be more successful, not just getting busy with busyness, but really being productive and efficient with less time possible.
That is another great point, because a lot of times people think being busy is the same as being productive.
Oh, it's different.
They get caught up in busy, or he's running, but what have you accomplished?
Yeah, so it's like exactly what I said, like RPM, your results, your purpose, and massive action. So what is the outcome that you want to achieve in that busyness or in that productivity?
Right. And if they can see what they're trying to achieve, then that changes all the running around and the feeling like I have to always be in motion, but I may not really be creating anything.
Yeah. And they are just aimless. So let me just give you another example, maybe to help your listeners understand. So it could be, in a business setting, okay, it could be you list down, for example, okay, marketing. Marketing is what we call a chunk, right? So in business, we have like spiritual, we have marketing, we have operations, and we have maybe logistics. So we have different categories in terms of our business. But if you were to be not productive and you were, for the sake of busyness, you would list your tasks like this. Oh, call John about this bag. Contact, send this email to this person. Assign the task to my virtual assistant. Write down 10 things I need to do for the next week. And then you kind of like list the things out. And by the time you finish listing, you will have 100 tasks that you're required to do. And by then you would have been overwhelmed and not be able to focus on exactly what you're meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah, because for women, success is all about going beyond your own interest and having a much broader thought about your current task. Of course, task is important. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. But if you're not focusing on the outcome and you're focusing on all the little activities, thinking that activities are the things that get you to the goals, it's not true.
That's true. That's a good way to really illustrate what you're saying. Yeah. And a lot of times we get stuck doing things that really aren't going to lead us where we want to go. But it's just that the things that all come up and we go, oh, I have to go and do this and I have to go there. It's like when people are on social media, maybe they're spending a lot of time doing that and telling themselves, oh, I'm doing this because I'm marketing, but they're not really doing the things they need to do to lead them into their goal. But maybe this thing they get caught up, or maybe this thing seems easier. Maybe they're afraid of taking the bigger actions. There's a lot of reasons.
I agree with you too, Deborah. In fact, another example would illustrate your point will be, women talking about social media, because you brought up a point on social media. And I noticed a lot of the women said, you know what, Genecia, when I set up a business, I will have a Facebook page. I will have an Instagram. I will have a Snapchat account. I will have a Google Plus account. I will have a LinkedIn account. But you know what, Deborah? The whole 5 accounts are like ghost towns. They just probably post like quotes and they post stuff, but they're not consistent, and they're just trying to post something on Facebook page because somebody said that, yeah, it's important to have a Facebook page because probably your local business, you're searchable on Facebook, or you should have an Instagram account because hashtag is searchable, So people said that and they followed, but there is no soul in that following. They're just doing a routine, mundane task that's not leading to a purpose, not leading to a outcome. Yeah. So a twist around would be a reframing of the thought of a woman entrepreneur or a lady who is doing social media will be, they need to focus on engagement. And how would engagement be built over 5 social media platforms? In fact, if you can't manage 5, drop it. Just focus on 2. Rather you do well 1 or 2 than try to be on all, and then you can't manage anything at all. In fact, these days it's so noisy. It's so crowded. There's so many people, hundreds and millions of people on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. And if you are not doing something unique or different, for example, being niche in the way you deliver your message, or, kind of like posting consistently, like how often do you show up? If you want your customers to find you or your audience to know where you are and to be seen, to be heard, to be found online, you're just going through the routine, then there will be no end to it. Then there will be no end. No, you will just be drowned in the sea of sameness.
Yeah,
literally.
You said that perfectly, because it's so true, and I'm sure we both see that with everyone, and people following what other people do, and then they don't really feel it. So as you said, their social media accounts are ghost town, and maybe they put something out here and there because they don't have the desire because they didn't really need to do this or didn't really want to do it. They're just doing what someone said they should do, and then nothing really comes out of any of it. You're right. That's true. It's true.
I rather them do one and do that really well than do so many and it just cobwebs all over. It's like sound of the crickets.
Right. You're right, though. That's what happens because it's just too much. There's too many things that you could do all at once.
Yeah.
But looking at your background and everything, and you were a beauty queen, how did you say, okay, now I'm going to go into entrepreneurship, I'm going to start businesses and do these things? What was the shift for you?
Well, to be honest, the shift was hard because there were a lot of ups and downs along the way. I mean, I had vision and great communication skills because that has been the most helpful for me to do that transition. And Deborah, for me, I love to learn because my mom has always told me that never stop learning because, we came from a hard family background. So she told me is to keep persevering and always keep learning because the matter above the neck is the most important matter above that's the most important thing, your most important asset is the matter above the neck. So I was like, okay, I hold that heart and dear to my heart. And it's like, so when I became a beauty queen, it's a double-edged sword Really, because people see you beautiful and confident, and you're like, Genecia, you're the beauty queen, you're born with a silver spoon, because that's the natural tendency. People will say, you have all the opportunities, you have the doors are open for you, but do you know, it's like, damn, I have to work my ass off to push my way through further, because people are like judging you all the time, and you're like, no, this is not the way to be, because to build a business, you need a lot of skills. You need to have, you must understand the numbers. You need to understand marketing. You need to understand operations. You need to know how to establish your brand identity, and you need to know how to kind of get your sales in, right? Mm-hmm. So that was tough. And it was a lot of learning and self-awareness that got me to where I am. Believe me, self-awareness is one of the greatest keys that I have learned in my entire life. Mm-hmm. That I will take with me to my grave, literally, because I find that having self-awareness, because we all have blind spots, but if we are willing to humble ourselves and say that, you know what, this is something that probably I don't know, and I'm willing to be open to receive the knowledge or receive someone to mentor me or guide me, the chances of us growing and doubling the way up is so much better and faster than the ego kind of holding us back. So bringing back to the point, being a beauty queen transiting to an entrepreneur was hard, but the relentless, for me, I was relentless, in pursuing of self-awareness and growing and myself. And therefore I have mentors who mentored me, like one of my mentors is James Wee, JamesWee.com, jameswee.com. Mm-hmm. He was the one who mentored me to go to my very first million. And was because of him, he also coached. I allowed myself to be mentored. So I think, Deborah, the thing is, I allow myself to be at the stage where I'm allowed to be humbled, to learn, and I will never say that I know. That helped me a lot in terms of transiting from a beauty queen to an entrepreneur, but also in all areas of my life.
That's true. You have to stay open and be willing to learn and be willing to say what you don't know. And for a lot of people, that can be very difficult to do. Because, they feel that they must always know, or they may be in a position in their life where they feel like, well, I've learned so much and I can't go into something where I don't know, and I'm going to be humbled and I have to learn from the ground up, So I think that stands in the way of many people. Once they decide, I want to have a business, but they don't realize that having that, you have to really, as you say, have self-awareness, because it's a learning process within you as well.
Yeah.
It's from within. It's not just on the outside. It's knowing the business things, but also it's coming to know who you are as a person. And
yes.
Yeah, I don't think everybody's prepared for that.
Why would you say that? It's not true.
I don't think they're prepared. That's one of the things you don't always hear about. People talk about business, they don't always admit to those things. So I think when people go into it, then they find that that's the case, they're surprised, because they really think it's almost like having a job where they can just kind of do it, but they still are kind of separate from it in a way too. It doesn't really reveal who they are often in a job situation. You could be anybody and show up and do whatever you are supposed to do, but it may not really touch you as a person, where when you create a business, that is something coming from you, and it's going to you have certain feelings about that. I think it's one thing I found between the two. So I think that's a surprise for people.
I mean, definitely, for women need to change their mindset into a winning one so that they can break out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah, if not, we're all creatures of habits, right?
Yes. And you fall into it without even realizing.
Yeah, that's true. But I really believe, Deborah, that our past hardships is what makes our present stronger and our future more colorful, and only if we allow it to.
Yes, that's true. You have to be willing to allow that to happen. So, what is your observation about female entrepreneurship in Asia?
My motivation? Or my observation?
Your observation. Well, your motivation too. We can hear about that too.
Well, my observation is that even though female entrepreneurship is steadily gaining ground, a lot of those wanting to build their business don't really know how to get started or to go about it. In fact, the breeding ground now in Asia there's this trend of startups where you do VCs and you go like funding, you get your seed round, but that's not really the area that I am actually coaching and mentoring the women, but more so in the area of building evergreen business model. This evergreen business model where you are able to leverage on technology to generate more leads, to get more clients, to literally free up your time. Because see, women in Asia, we are very busy people. Our culture here is we can do stuff ourselves. We can do DIY, but we prefer done for you, or if not, we hire people to do it for us. So it's a lot more of the McDonald's mindset where it's convenient. We want fast. We want convenience. So this is the culture. Okay. So this is the context I want to set first in Asia. So we are very fast paced and we are literally, often changing up because Asia is growing. We are like growing right now. And the evergreen business model is literally the pathway now where women are kind of leveraging on technology and hiring, for example, outsourcing, delegating like virtual assistants to free up their time so that they can, like you said, perform their task that, they don't have to do everything, and also applying the knowledge of setting personal boundaries and knowing how to set their outcomes. And when they know how to do all these things, having this self-awareness, they will be able to do their best and they will be peak performance, as a women entrepreneur in Asia.
So it's a matter of how to reach people. I like to say reach people where they are. So you know more about the culture and what the expectations are. And now you can build on that to say, okay, now we can take that and we can build our businesses, out of the mindset. As you said, people will be like, well, let me have someone create this for me and build this because then I'm often doing these other things. So
In fact, they have no time. In fact, many of my women entrepreneurs have no time. Yeah, literally, a lot of them come to me and then they say, Genecia, I'm like working 18 hours a day, plus I will need to take care of my kids. I need to run my retail outlets. Some of them are doing online business and these are actual entrepreneurs. They are not they are not really the online entrepreneurs yet. They are more like offline entrepreneurs moving into the online space. So a lot of them say they have no time. So I am cultivating the mindset of these women to tell them that, hey, you can outsource to people, right? I mean, in Singapore, our men labor is expensive. We are paying like $3,000 to $5,000 per manpower per head. Right? So it's expensive for overheads in terms of business. I mean, say for example, three to 5,000 is just a sweeping statement. I mean, I'm just saying depends on the role that you are in. Okay. So this is a disclaimer to protect myself. But anyway, a lot of them have no time. So I say, why don't you consider outsourcing to, virtual assistants in the Philippines? Because we are in the same time zone and the Philippines are basically quite, what we call tuned to the American English and stuff like that. So, and they're closer to us. So literally, we work on that. We work on the leverage because I really believe in leveraging in business. So we leverage on resources and we also leverage on technology. Say, for example, automation. So, for example, when someone comes to your website or when they make a booking for your call, the business owners can literally leverage on softwares that help them to send out emails, send them SMS, send them notifications to tell them, hey, your customer's package is ending. When can you send them your salesperson to give them a call to remind them. Mm-hmm. So this system allows the woman entrepreneur to have the possibility to do that, mm-hmm. so that they can save time. Mm-hmm. They are able that will enable them to run their business more conveniently while being able to care for their children, being able to cater time for their family, and do more for themselves. Self-care is also important for women entrepreneurs.
Yes, definitely. And also you've made some very interesting points, because a lot of times you're talking about women business owners who already have the offline, and now they're adding the online world. So now this is another layer of things that you have to manage and start up and have goals as to where you're going and where you're trying to get to. So there's all these different layers that they're adding on as they go. Yeah. Yeah, and as we were saying before, with technology, it just seems like there's always the next platform or the next thing that you have to know about.
Yeah. And social media is always evolving, and my women entrepreneurs are telling me, Genecia, I'm so tired. Facebook just changed their algorithm. Oh my God, Google just changed their algorithm. Then did you know Instagram just changed their algorithm? They're like going crazy, and then YouTube just changed up their algorithm too as well. So literally, they're all going crazy.
I understand. That seems to be the common complaint, huh?
Yeah, but you see, entrepreneurship is never easy. I mean,
yes,
it's not easy, but I pride myself on my entrepreneurial and mentorship skills. So I just want to continue to share with women. That's why I came up with in my daily show. I do a lot of daily sharing. Mm-hmm. In fact, in Singapore timing, 7:30 a.m. in the morning, mm-hmm. and 8:30 p.m. in the evening, what I do is I come on live on Facebook, mm-hmm. and I basically share about business, mindset, and marketing. I share daily dose of tips and practical advice, mm-hmm. to enable my followers to get more sales and increase their profits in the long run. Mm-hmm. So my aim is to leave my audience thinking, and I love to give a lot of value, because the space is so crowded now, mm-hmm. and you want to be able to give people bite-sized, very quick, kind of actionable stuff that they can just take it and run with it.
Yes, that's excellent. And again, with Facebook Live coming online then there's another way for people to to connect, because that's relatively recent. But that's also helped to change the game for a lot of people. So it's kind of interesting how each thing comes out, and now that can open up more opportunities as well, for people to reach other people. So we're just going to take a really short break and be right back.
Hi, this is Deborah. Not only am I host of Women Entrepreneurs Radio, but I'm also a writer and coach. I've learned that making professional changes calls for a change in mindset, and that's not always easy to do. In my book, Think Like an Entrepreneur, Transforming Your Career and Taking Charge of Your Life, you'll learn the 5 steps to thinking like an entrepreneur so that you can move from idea to action. You'll also get information on how to manage fear of failure and how to banish self-doubt. And you'll receive lots of motivation to pick you up and point you in the right direction when you're facing the emotional and mental challenges that come with making life changes. In fact, one reviewer said, the book gave me ideas to match with my own feelings. This book is clear, straightforward. All tips are really good and easy to apply. I couldn't agree more. So get your copy today of Think Like an Entrepreneur, Transforming Your Career and Taking Charge of Your Life. It's available in print, ebook, and audiobook on Amazon.com.
Okay, everyone, we're back with Genecia Alluora, and we're talking about entrepreneurship and particularly about female entrepreneurship in Asia, but it sounds a lot like we're all connected here. So a lot of the things that she's saying, that the challenges that some are facing are also things that I think we can all relate to, particularly women entrepreneurs can relate to no matter where you are. So that's the interesting part about how we are so connected now. We can see how much that we have in common with each other as we're all out here expressing ourselves. So, I want to hear more about Soul Rich Woman. How did that come about?
Well, Soul Rich Woman is a mastermind community leveraging on technology that helps women fast track their business success. So our mission is to empower women to achieve their ambitions. Everyone in the community knows the importance of aiming for higher, to realize their dreams. And it's not just about building a profitable online business or profitable business online, but allowing women to live a life of financial independence and emotional freedom. That is key.
That's important. Certainly.
Yeah. And also I am one of the many mentors in Soul Rich Woman, a woman being with an A. Yeah. And our aim here is to give as much value as possible to the lives of our entrepreneur members in different aspects of their lives, whether it be in their health, wealth, or personal well-being.
Have you had any challenges growing this business?
Well, Soul Rich Woman, when we first started, there's no brand. So you see, I'm brand fanatic. I love to do brand building because I believe that I do not want to be in the sea of sameness, right? That's I'm hardcore on that. I really believe the brand really can bring us places. So because I've grown my retail chain, our coffee retail chain, we have 7 outlets and we're in 3 countries. Our brand is called Coffee Nowhere or Coffee Now Here. So it's a nowhere to now here, a journey of excellence. Yeah. And yeah, it's a perfect name. It's a pun intended, not. And having grown businesses like that, brand do matter. So when I first started Soul Rich Woman, we are nobody. And being in a space where it's very competitive and there's a lot of noise in the market and you want to be able to establish your name. So I leverage because of my own personal branding before as a Miss Singapore. And because I was in the media quite a fair bit. So I leverage a lot on using Facebook and Instagram with my own current branding, and I kind of drive traffic to my Facebook page or my Instagram using ads. So we had paid traffic, and then I gave them a lead magnet, give them a lot of content, a lot of value, and through my live shows even, right? So I do daily live shows now. I'm currently on this episode, I'm on 756 already. So I've done 756 episodes of sharing, right? So all these things kind of attract people to me because when you set a certain stand of who you want to be and what you want to be known for, and by not being everything to everybody and you are able to accept that, that is when people will remember you. People will be able to associate you with that exact one thing and one thing only. And don't be afraid to be known for just one thing, because have you gone to hawker centers or to places, to eating places, and there's always this one store that is always a long queue. Yeah. And when you look at their menu, and they're always known for that one menu, that one dish they're just so famous for. Versus if you go to a store in that eating place and that store sells like 10 items. There's French fries all the way to, some steak, and then there's noodles and everything. And you're like, which one should I be eating? And your brain gets confused, right? Right. And then you turn to the next store and then you say, that store sells only one thing, I think, and there's long queue over there. I'm going over there to eat that one thing only.
Right.
So your brain kind of tripped up if you're not building that brand and then you are known for that one thing. So when I established Soul Rich Woman, we were nothing. And over the last 2 years, in fact, 1.5 to 2 years, our membership is growing steadily. Currently, we have about 8,000 members. So I guess the numbers are growing because there is something right in our brand. But of course, I want it to go global because we want the reach to grow and to be able to be a platform to connect like-minded women to support each other, because girls fight, women empower.
That's a really powerful quote.
Yeah,
a tagline. That's excellent. That says it all right there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of women who are competing with each other. There's no need to compete because all of us are unique in our own way.
Yeah.
There are plenty of platforms here, even in Singapore, but I told myself that we want to collaborate, or even if we can't collaborate, let's work and be the best that we can be in our own space.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That's important. For people to understand, so then they don't feel like they have to undercut other people and push other people and fight with other people. That's not the point. You bring what you have to the table.
Yes,
that's
so that's how I grew Soul Rich Woman. I mean, there were a lot of hurdles because of the brand building part, and it took a while. But I really believe that, women leaders and female entrepreneurs should be a part of Soul Rich Woman, because it's a great way to meet new people and expand the support group.
That's important. That is important.
A lot of our members told me that being a part of the Soul Rich Woman community is an enriching personal experience for them, because they don't want to just learn from the school of hard knocks. They want to learn from people who has been there, done that.
Right. And that helps you to avoid some of the pitfalls that other people can let you know, things that you should do because they've been there already, and they can share their expertise with you, and you can learn, from what they've already done. So I think that is perfect. But, Genecia, please share where people can find out more about you and your businesses.
You can find out more about me and what I do on my website, soulrichwoman.com, SoulRichWoman.com. And you can find me alternatively on Facebook, on Instagram, and LinkedIn. Basically, you find me Genecia Alluora. Just put the 2 words together. You will be able to find my handle.
Wonderful. That's easy too. It's easy for you to find her, so that there's no excuse not to. So, Genecia, we've been talking for quite a while. I know it's very late there, and I so appreciate you taking the time here, because I know your busy day and a busy day to come. But I want to ask you, what do you feel is your definition of success?
My definition of success is being who you are, being authentic, speaking the truth about your own destiny, not determined by the materials in life, but by your choices that you make in life.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Because being success is not about chasing other people's success. I mean, you can't be Oprah Winfrey and you can't be Jessica Alba. There's never going to be two of them, right?
Right.
Yeah, just be the best version of you. And if you are not crushing it, then go crush it.
Right. Do that in your way. And that is so important for you to note, because so many people think they have to be like other people who they may put up there and say, oh, I want to be that person. I could see that they can motivate you, but you can't be that person and have walked their journey, because that's their journey and their path. But then you're not being who you are, not bringing all those things that you bring to the table. You're not bringing, because you're hiding all that because you're trying to be like someone else.
And also, I want to tell the audience that, go have courage and do the things that you want to do. It's better to have 15 ideas that fail, and of which maybe 2 that do well, rather than people who have plenty of ideas and do nothing with it.
Yes.
Yeah, just go out there and just do it, because if you sit there thinking, your hair is going to grow white.
Right. You're still thinking years later.
You're still thinking, right? Rather to have failed attempts than, be a better person than sitting there and have plenty of ideas and nothing happens. So which one would you rather be?
That's true. I think again, that touches on what you just said. If so many people are either afraid to fail because they think that failure means now they're defeated and they can't try again. They've been told that everybody's always successful.
Yeah, precisely.
Yes. So
I have been through 6-figure debt. I mean, for me, I started 2 very big milestones in my life. First was when I had to work when I was 14 years old, when everybody else was playing. I mean, at least in Asia. And then 2, when I went through my 6-figure debt just a few years ago. I mean, I was shit. I was suicidal. I was depressed. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to, literally do stuff. But I told myself, you know what? Life is going to be better. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Being in the rut in the dark hole for the longest time. I mean, to me, if I don't live my life now, then when? So I keep encouraging all women out there, if you're listening to this piece of advice, go and live your life. Just stop being a victim of your circumstances. Step out of your comfort zone. Go towards a dream that you truly want to go for it. Okay. Don't hold back anymore, because life is not going to happen twice for you.
Well, and those are words, I think, to end the program, because we can't get any better than that.
But thank you for having me on your show, Deborah.
Well, you're welcome, and I thank you as well, because as I mentioned before, I enjoy talking with women from all over the world to hear their perspectives and their encouragement and their passion. And this is so important to share, so that others can also see, oh, okay, I can learn from this as well, and I can step up. So I'm really so excited to hear your passion and everything that you have done. And I thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's really been a wonderful conversation.
You are welcome.
So everyone, I know you enjoyed this. Please make sure you share it on social media. You can also check out Genecia's site and her organization, and check out her broadcasts and really follow her advice, because I think it's very powerful for all of us. And certainly, as I said, share on social media and let everyone know to check out Women Entrepreneurs Radio. Okay? So once again, this is your host, Deborah Bailey. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye now. Thanks for joining us. You can also join in the conversation on Facebook.com/Women Entrepreneurs and on the website, WomenEntrepreneurSecrets.com. And don't forget to listen in on dvcoach.podomatic.com and on iTunes.